Here's the husband you chose for me.
The king promised that anyone could marry the princess with one condition. They had to correctly identify what animal the hide came from. The first to try was a 40-year-old prince. The princess wasn't fond of him, but in front of her father, she had no choice. The prince examined the hide carefully, then declared it was hippopotamus skin. The princess nervously glanced at her father. The king told him he was wrong, and the princess breathed a sigh of relief. Next came another prince who knew all about animals. He studied the hide closely, then confidently announced it was buffalo skin. But the king quickly shot down his answer too. Then, a handsome young prince arrived. The princess liked him immediately, so she told her father she wanted to marry this prince, and asked him to lie if his answer was wrong. But the king was a man of his word. The young prince looked at the hide, then confidently told the king it was elephant skin. The princess looked at the king hopefully, but unfortunately, he said the answer was incorrect. The princess was devastated. Just then, a towering wild man burst into the court. The guards immediately blocked his path, but the king said the contest was open to anyone. The wild man knew everything about animals because he survived by hunting and eating meat. He simply sniffed the hide, then answered that it was flea skin. The king froze. The princess was terrified. The king said nothing because the wild man's answer was correct. The princess left in tears. It turned out the king had raised a flea as a pet since he was young. Over time, it had grown enormous. One day, when the flea reached the end of its lifespan, it finally died, and that hide came from that giant flea. The next day, the wild man came to take the princess home. She was terrified, but she had to honor the agreement because the wild man was now her husband. They traveled through dense jungle and climbed steep cliffs together. Finally, the wild man brought the princess to his cave. When she saw the wild man's home, she was horrified. The place was full of bones and remains because the wild man naturally lived on meat. Follow me